Hello, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Today I'm going to be trying the Hefeweizen that I made just before Christmas. It's been in the bottle now for 2 weeks. Had a small taste the other night and I think that's it. Just about ready. Bit of smoke. This is the first time using the Weihenstephan Hefeweizen yeast. It was quite good because usually I use WLP 300, and what I find is in the bottle my wheat beers drop clear and you just swirl up at the end, whereas a Weihenstephan does seem to be staying in suspension a bit more. So there we go. Quite murky. Recipe was crisp pale wheat, Weyerman Bohemian Pilsner Carawheat rice hulls. I'll put the actual proper recipe below. So Carawheat is why it's a little bit darker. Either that or it's oxidised, but I think it's probably the Carawheat. Yeah, a lot fruitier than my last few batches, which was good. Cheers. Definitely fruitier flavour. Still great. It's good. It's good. I'm fairly pleased with it. It can be better. I think I messed up a little bit with the pH on this. So this is my first ever batch using the 100% RO water, with minerals added afterwards. 3.2 calcium chloride, 0.8 grams Epsom, 3.5 gypsum, and 4 ml of phosphoric acid. So that's what Brewfather had suggested. Probably should have taken a pH meter reading before adding the acid. So live and learn. Yeah, does have a bit of homebrew twang. Still quite young. I mean, as I said, bottled it 2 weeks ago, but it's very drinkable. I was expecting 1056 and I got 1053, my original gravity. 3 points. Not going to quibble about that too much, because got a lot of bottles at this batch. I think it was over 21 or just under 21 litres in bottles, so that's pretty good. Also, my final gravity was 3 points lower than expected, so it worked out about the same. I think with 240 grams of priming sugar, it came to 6.1%, so fairly strong, and doesn't taste it, doesn't it? Definitely doesn't have a strong boozy kick. I've not brewed anything since then, but I plan on brewing this weekend, and I'm going to do a Fuller's 1887X. So it's a mild, and I've got something new to try. So a lot of these older recipes ask for invert sugar, whether it be invert 1, 2, 3 or 4. Higher the number, darker it is. And this isn't really something you can just go and buy, so I had a bash at making it myself. And this is what it turned out like. It tastes good, That's fine. It shouldn't be hard. It's supposed to be soft and sort of gooey, but it's so difficult to control the temperature when you're making this. So because the temperature got too high, it went to, on the candy thermometer, but says hard crack, which is just then when it sets, it goes like a solid block. I tested out that I could break it up by hand, so that's fine, but I reckon I'll have to bash this in with a mash hammer to get it into little bits, and be very careful when I add it to the wort that it doesn't stick to the bottom and burn. Yeah. Don't know if you can see the colour. It's like a very dark brown. That's just the air bubbles that are trapped slightly under the surface. You can see the bubbles along the edge as well. So made 2 kilos. Yeah, so this is just slightly over a kilo. So 2 kilos of Demerara sugar with 2 litres, and I used filtered, just like Brita filtered water, and 2 ml or 4 ml. That was like 1 or 2 ml per kilogram of lactic acid, and then bring it up to the boil. Then you're aiming for, I don't know this bit in metric, but in imperial it was 240 Fahrenheit. And then for number 2, you want to hold it there for 90 to 120 minutes. So, as I overshot a little bit, so there's quite a bit of turning the heat off and raising it and turning the heat. It's very, very difficult to control the temperature. So, but that was 90 minutes. I reckon that's plenty dark. The other method you can do is to make a sort of invert substitute, is combine golden syrup with blackstrap molasses, which I'll also have a bash at some point. But we'll see how this goes. So the recipe asks for just over a kilo of invert, and it is. So we'll see how that goes. And I also got a new thing for my Grainfather. The end of those fucking silicon seals. Rolled plates. So rather than having to put a seal around the edges, these now are rolled steel, and it should fit snugly against the malt pipe. So it comes $59.99 for a set of 2. If you have no issues whatsoever putting on the silicon seals and getting it into the mash pipe, it's not for you. You don't need it. This isn't something I anticipate is going to improve my beer any way whatsoever, but it will lower the blood pressure and stop me trashing the place when I'm fighting with those seals. It'll also make me use the top plate more often, because at the moment I just kind of leave it because it never works. Yeah, so we're trying that. Got another couple of bits for the project for the mash tun. So hopefully this brew I'm going to do the Fuller's mild. The one after that will be the Trickware House ale clone, which I'm planning using the bigger mash tun, and this will be the recirculation kind of spray arm for inside the tun. So that's all the bits have finally arrived. I'll show you. So I think I've showed you before. The water will come through here, down with a little bit of hose, and at the bottom of the hose it'll come and it'll hit this disc, and hopefully the water will spray evenly over the grain bed. We'll see. uh, I've, the shed's an absolute shambles at the moment. Just various size washers and screws and bits, because I really need to invest in one of those things so you can measure the size of a screw or a bolt, because I just keep buying the wrong sizes of things, and they all come in packs of 50 or 100, so it's just shit lying everywhere. So yeah, Hefeweizen, decent. Not as good as a Weihenstephan or a Hallertauer or Schneiderweiss, but it's very drinkable. Probably, and I'd say I'm enjoying it more than like kind of cheaper supermarket owned type Hefeweizens, and that's something. I think it'll get better in another couple of weeks as well. Yeah, definitely got the murk. I've carbonated this to 4 volumes, so I think it's got another little bit to go until it's completely carved up. I did stress the yeast out quite a bit. It was a liquid pack, Wyeast 3068, and it was about a month or two past its date, and I didn't bother with a starter, just pitched it as is. And there was quite a slow start to this, quite a long lag time before it showed any signs of activity. But then once it got going, it took about 3 days to properly show in the airlock. Once it got going, it just chewed through it at a kind of fairly quick pace. I wouldn't normally do that with other styles of beer, but Hefeweizen, if you stress out the yeast, it brings out more of the fruity flavours, not the esters. And for this batch, that's what I was aiming for. Yeah, there's nothing fusily or untowards like that, so yeah, not bad. Yep, so cheers. See you next time.